Here you go. What? Yum. Oh, we all love sorrel, I know. Welcome back to Outdoor Exploration. Whoops, careful. This is my little update on Big One, our chicken who had the impacted crop and is still healing after having had surgery last week. She's living in the house with us. She actually can walk again. I thought I'd show you right now, but that's not happening because she's so interested in eating everything on the ground here that she doesn't want to go anywhere. However, she can walk a meter or two when she feels inspired. And yeah, she is slowly building back the huge amount of muscle that she lost during her sickness. So today, I am choking on sorrel and am going to show you some edible flowers in my garden. I will just go put Big One away and then we can go looking at some flowers. All right, back to the house where she lives with us. Because of my family's many autoimmune issues and basically foods that we can't eat, we have a lot of baking difficulty. So I have had to learn to bake, and one of the things that makes me feel like I'm managing the job is putting flowers on things. So pretty much all summer, anything I bake, or salads, anything I make, I just put flowers on. And so I thought, hey, I have a lot of really delicious edible flowers in my garden, as do most of us. And I thought I'd do a little tour of what's edible and delicious in the garden. So one of the things, all rose petals are edible, but some taste better than others. Some taste pretty much like nothing. Some are kind of a little too bitter, and some are sweeter. So these happen to be sweeter, and these are nice ready rose petals. So I'm just going to get some of these, and there we go. We'll see what kind of rainbow we can find today. Follow me. So nasturtiums are also edible, and thankfully there are many colors of nasturtiums. So I'm just going to get a couple of the red ones. They're pretty bitter or flavorful, so some people don't like them, but I do. And I have some orange ones right behind me, so look over here. You can add so many colors with just nasturtiums. Oops, I ripped it on the way. And some yellow, or well, I guess a yellowy orange. Let's see how we go. While I'm here, I have a whole lot of sweet peas growing all over this area here. And I thought I would point out, although pea flowers are edible from the edible peas, sweet peas are poisonous. So we don't eat those. However wonderful they smell, we don't eat them. But something else now. In the brassica family, we have all kinds of beautiful four-petaled flowers, like these little kale flowers, which sometimes you have a whole lot more of than this. I do, I think, on the other side of my garden. But also radish flowers. They also have four petals, and I think they're gorgeous for putting on little cakes and things like that because they kind of look like butterflies. Also, I grow Easter egg radishes, so they come in all different colors, and the flowers are all different colors, everything from purple to pink and white, even kind of a bluey purple. So I'm just going to get a bunch of these. They have such gorgeous little veined petals. They're just, when you look up close, you can see how beautiful they are. So I plant borage just for the flowers. In fact, I planted it once and now I just have it annually everywhere. Whoops, I'm dropping them. But I just love having these blue flowers to put on my salads and desserts and everything else. And you can eat the whole plant, but it's a bit furry, so I rather not, but it tastes like cucumber basically. Yeah, come on little flower. And the flowers just pop off without any of the stem, and you end up with this gorgeous little blue decoration. Or, I mean, you can hardly taste them honestly, there's so little of it, but what we're after here is beauty. So, actually, while I'm here, you can hardly see this. If you want a little pink, wild Herb Robert, is a fabulous little pink flower to add. It's a little bit bitter like the rest of the Herb Robert, but not a whole lot. And yeah, sorrel, this kind of wood sorrel that we have, it's a little, looks a bit like a clover, but it's not a clover. It has little yellow flowers, which I'm not going to pick because there are so few and they're so tiny, but yeah, those are edible too, especially when they're open in the heat of the sun. Fennel blossoms have become super popular lately. Apparently people use the pollen on, you know, I guess as a garnish or flavor additive in high-end restaurants. I just pick off the whole crown, and then back at the house I trim off the actual flowers because the stems are a little tough, but the flowers themselves, I call it candy. It's basically just tastes like you're eating a fennel candy. So, I mean, why save them really for the basket? Yum. They're so good. So if you have potato flowers, you might be tempted to eat them because they're gorgeous and we eat potatoes, but you don't eat the flowers. No. No flowers. Poisonous. So cornflowers. Ooh, this has a little fly in it. Also known as bachelor's buttons, are also edible, and they taste a little bit clovey, people say. I don't find them to be particularly clovey, but a little bit, I guess. So when you pick them, all the individual little florets come off. So I'll pick two different colors. So watch this. It's all pretty circular, this flower, but then when I pull, oh, of course it didn't happen that time. When I pull, usually all the little bits come out of the middle and separate themselves up, so you end up with a whole lot of these gorgeous, gorgeous little flowers. It's all about looks, people. I feel so pastoral sitting here with my rainbow of flowers, my almost rainbow. So red clover, which is a little bit kind of brown in places this year because of all the rain we've had, but it's delicious, as I've mentioned in previous videos. And you can pull out the individual little flowers. Oops, I'm dropping some. You can eat the leaves too, of course, but it's all about flowers today. And I mean, normally I would just suck the nectar out of the bottom of them, but today I just add them to my basket of rainbow here. Ooh, I should have done this for Pride weekend. And white clover. Actually, some red clovers are white also, but white clovers are also edible. They're kind of tough at the bottom, so I only use the petals, not the rest of it. There's nothing poisonous about it. It's just not that great. And speaking of sucking the nectar out, if you just look at this tree here, you will see it's filled with honeysuckle. And follow me over here, I hope. Yes, I can reach some just behind here. So the wild honeysuckle is the best. And but this is a cultivated one, but you can eat them. And you just pull off each individual little flower and preferably suck the honey out of the bottom, but also you can save the flowers for your decoration. Where do I put this? At the bottom with the pinks and purples. I'll put them there. So these are a sort of a yellow and pink honeysuckle that we have. But the indigenous type are orange and yellow, so yeah, maybe you'll have some of those. All right, let's see what's at the house. A little bit more brassica here. This is a bit of an older cauliflower, so I'm not going to get a lot of them, but it's, to me, the perfect thing to add for my green row here. Of course, they're white, but they have so much green on them with their little stems and leaflets and the buds. Check them for bugs, speaking of. And you know, it's cauliflower, so you can eat all the stems and everything. I mean, you can eat the stems of any of them, but with cauliflower, they're especially succulent and tasty. So, there's a little green and white. I love this so much, so much. Makes me happy. Now follow me to the edible peas, somewhere through this garden here. So I really don't want to pick too many of these because, as you can see, they're growing peas, which are going to be dried on the vine and then eventually brought in to become our future pea soups. But I'll pick a couple because you can eat them. These are being the edible pea, not the sweet pea. I'll put them in the green section too. Oh, I'm loath to pick so many when, oh, I picked a lot. Okay, let's have a whole stem of pea for our green section here. There we go. It's looking pretty good, right? Okay, let's go to the steps. Here's our rainbow. Many herb flowers, I guess you would say, are also edible. They're pretty tiny, but when you're making desserts, tiny is sometimes just what you want. And this is lemon thyme. So not only are they gorgeous and pink and green, but they taste like lemon. So let's put them here. And then, because why would I make something I wasn't going to eat? Well, I will put this whole thing on my dinner when we go in for that, but I brought some tarts. So I made these tarts today, all wild berries. They have salal, Oregon grape, huckleberries, and a couple, just the very last of the trailing blackberries that didn't, I guess didn't rot in the rain. So I'm going to put little lemon thyme leaf on top of them and a little flower. Oh no, I'm going to put a borage flower. There we go. And well, let's do them differently. This one will have the lemon thyme flower and something different, maybe some yellow kale blossoms. So of course there are so many more things that we can eat, flowers that we can eat from the garden, but what we've done today are rose petals, nasturtiums, kale blossoms, these tiny ones in here, fennel blossoms, peas, being edible peas only, and borage flowers, and bachelor's button flowers, and radish blossoms, honeysuckle, and clover blossoms. Oh, and the lemon thyme blossoms. And if I'm forgetting something, oh, cauliflower blossoms. Forgetting so many things. Anyway, happy exploring. I'm going to have my dessert. Nothing like wild berries. You have to stand there and watch me eat this. Okay, here's yours.